Hey, so we're gonna say day 3 of making 3D game. Camera, and I think the setup is good. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're good. So, I'm gonna grab this on this. Oh, how do you get rid of this? Yeah, there we go. Because I will probably have to change the music to its specific albums. Oh, well, not organized. So, okay, a little bit of update regarding what happened since last stream. Last stream was on let's say another project. Yes, it was another Godot project, but really it's the same thing. It's just like I created a new project to have things a little bit more organized. So what we have here is that I'm trying basically to focus on what's going to be useful and playable in a sense. So at the moment, so far, because I've been working on this today and I've been exploring the Blender to Godot workflow a little bit. So what we have is here a road, which is basically a plane mesh. So that's pretty cool. Then I copy pasted basically the character controller, since I translated it for C#. And I created a new door. So this took me quite a little while. I recreated a new model, which is basically in 2 parts, door and door frame. And from there I recreated the interaction. And I changed it a little bit actually. I changed it a little bit so that it doesn't work with I mean, we don't have to, basically, let's see how it works. We don't have to override this script anymore. Like, this script is now fixed, and by using signal, only the main script has to be changed. Hi, Maxim, how you doing? Oh, wow, that goes back to such a long time. You're actually one of my first followers, so welcome in the stream. So yeah, right now I'm basically on Blender to actually make the inside of this player's haven. So how you doing, Maxim? I think I'm just gonna import this wall to make sure that it is, well, properly crafted. I'm probably not going to make Blender create the collision for me. So I'm just gonna export this. Selected object. Happens. Well, first level. First level. Not just having well, actually, I'm not gonna make. You're fine, thanks. You've been following the videos and streams, but you've been discreet. Yeah. I don't remember how I noticed you, because maybe it was maybe you commented something, or you have public subscriptions, which means that I have a feed where I have like the names of those with public subscription, which shows up. Haven't wall. Okay, let's see how this. Move the mic. But I appreciate you actually stepping out of the darkness of lurking. But lurking is comfortable, let's be honest. So I'm gonna create a new 3D scene. Haven't wall. Asked a question about using singletons. Ooh. Singletons have evolved quite a lot since then. I don't know if you saw the recent implementation which I did. Well, it's slightly different because I'm using C#, but it is a little bit more evolved now. Basically, I'm using ready and exit tree to kind of check the instance. So where did I create a singleton in this project? Oh, are you gonna create a new? Yes. Oh, the UI tab container is probably a singleton. Yeah, so basically now what I do is I check, like, I mean, on the ready function, where's the ready? It's here. On ready function, I check that the instance is equal to the singleton. And if it's not, I free it and return so that everything in the ready doesn't trigger. And then when I exit, if I actually do delete the node, which is a singleton, I free the space to allow new ones to get in. Otherwise, it's just instance equal this, as usual. But yeah. With crate, no, don't need this project anymore. Okay, so let's try to bring in those Haven walls. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna make the collision be automatically calculated by Godot. Well, there we go. I'm eventually gonna create a Haven object on node 3, actually. The door's gonna get in, as well as the Haven. I just have to make sure that this is ouch. Not very visual. Oh, vision. Looks fine. We try this. Oh, that's ugly. Alright, let's see. Okay, we have the door and we have the inside. That's okay. That's pretty much what I wanted. So eventually I could try to start applying textures because right now it's pretty terrible. Yeah, let's apply a few textures. Well, materials actually. Alright. For the walls, I was thinking like a red brick red. Maybe I should find this like brick red color. Do we have something? I like this one. Alright. So let's create a new material. Wait, I have none? Oh, okay.
Very busy right now.
Now, edit mode of walls. And we're gonna paint. A sign. Door frame. Something woodish. Have you switched to C# for good, or do you plan to go back to GDScript at some point? At the moment, I don't plan using GDScript again, especially since we've had the announcement of web export coming for C#. However, you may have noticed that I can be really quick to change my mind in the most unexpected ways, so it might come back for any reason, but right now I can't say it right now, but we never know. Okay, I can apply it to the entire object. This is gonna be door wood. I do have actually. No, wait. More colors by name. I don't know what this is, but that's a good one. This one also. Burnt amber. Café noir. Well. Yeah, you know what? Let's have a coffee door. Just because that's weird. Is it a sign though? Yeah. Wait. Okay. Door frame. Yeah, something black could work for the door frame. Door frame. Or maybe like, nah. So what about the question, by the way? Like, are you? I don't want to say disappointed, but do you actually prefer the JDScript content? Because even though I try not to think too much about this dictating my choice here, you know, I'm still curious. I mean, yeah, curious to know what people think. Like, oh, they're not going to watch C# content, or it's difficult to translate C# to JDScript, which is understandable, especially since I'm switching because you can do more things. So eventually I will be ending up doing things that people can't do in JDScript at all. So yeah, quite curious about that. I could use a kind of... Oh, I need a floor. I need a floor. So I'm not sure how to achieve that. Like, maybe I could create a kind of... make the sidewalk go down a little bit so that I can then add a kind of floor block or something. But yeah, I want to pick that and change the material of the inside wall. Walls. Haven't. Right, but what color? Like a cornflower blue, like that would be like dizzy. Cheapest seems paint like wallpaper. Something grayish. Like a dark gray or dark electric blue. Dark pink. Salmon? Terracotta. There's something. Oh, desert sand. Let's go desert sand. Yeah. Okay. Walls. And a sun. Oh, it looks like it didn't work. Because I didn't pick the right color. Oh, actually, is it out? No, it's not outside. No, never mind. I'm coming back to you just when I'm done with that. Oh. Maybe there's a way to free fly the camera with doing Godot. There we go. Oh, Darian's sharing. You get it, not disappointing at all, but since you don't really know how to code in C#, you have to take more time to understand the logic and then apply it in JavaScript. Yeah. But I guess it's good to spend time to really understand it. But the thing is that at some point, I will be eventually, I mean, it's gonna be a very, very, very small fraction of what I do. But there are gonna be things which can't be translated to JavaScript. Basically, when I'm gonna use static signals, this is not gonna work anymore. So I probably have to re-export that. Real quick. Poor Darian struggling with the time app, which I hate. Don't use time apps. For some reason I hate that. Like, never tried. I mean, I did try, but never liked. I enjoyed it. Alright, walls. Export. Haven't. Okay, Godot, show me. Nice. Yes. A boom in your head. No, I don't know why, but Godot time maps doesn't appeal to me at all. It seems a little bit too convoluted for me. Like, I'm not one of those who will make things the simplest way, but for some reason, like, to use a quote from one of my math teacher, I feel like time map is using a rocket launcher to kill a fly. For what I have to do most of the time. Right, cube 01. Oh. Anyway, door frame. What can you use instead of a time map for terrain? Well, basically, I would say it depends what you mean by what do you use instead, because the time map does so many things that it could be like, if you need a grid, I will usually just use my own grid script, which is much easier. However, if you mean drawing a terrain, then it might be a little bit... So, okay, I've never made... I mean, I did actually. One of the 2 games I published is using time map. But eventually I would consider using another tool to draw the time map and then export it as a singular texture file. I would do that instead. You can check with ID, scale the ID. That kind of thing I would actually use different nodes for. Objects, so I wouldn't really... I'm making your house in 3D? Exactly, actually. I remember the picture you sent us, so I'm using it as a reference. Of course not. Really? No. You never sent a picture of your house. No, actually, it's the first step of making a building, so right now it's actually just the box that the player is going to be stuck in. And then I'm going to build around it. So let's see, actually. I should have... Common parent is null. Is that a real error, or... Because I deleted it, but... it seems fine. Everything's okay. It's like you look at Luna tutorial in 3D. Oh, interesting. I don't know what you're talking about, so eventually share that just out of curiosity. Okay. Time to expand a little box. Edit mode, actually. I can see a kind of, you know, can I extrude that on all sides at the same time? Absolutely not. Extrude. No. X. Or like scale extrusion. Is that a thing? Resize? Oh yes! There it is. Like this? Well, actually it's not really what I want. Well, it's the scale. So it's not going to be the same size every corner, is it? Maybe it is actually. No, it's not. Ah. Yeah. Rotate, resize. Or maybe there's a way to make it proportional. What is that? No. Oh wait. So you build a house in Roblox. Someone talked about Roblox last stream. Didn't look into it, but yes, those. Why do people say those are hard to make? this one was a little bit of trouble, but ultimately it turned out fine. Took you 5 minutes to make a door. Yeah, making the door wasn't really the most difficult part. It was figuring out why my code was breaking, and the entire reason was because I forgot to assign the get node to the property here, so it was bugging. Okay, so I think I will have to... Maybe I can calculate this. Like, if I do know the actual... Oh, proportional editing. No? No. Global... Bubble. I could calculate that if I knew the ratio. Honestly, I think I shouldn't sweat this much detail question right now. Oh, your house. Right. Very, very sexy house. Like, I'm gonna share with everyone, like, super sexy house. So yeah, I'm not gonna sweat it. Like, it's honestly not important detail. I'm gonna create the new... I don't know how to name that, but that's gonna be the white material. White wall. Sure. Not really white wall, but white brick. Kind of. Okay, so that we can get the few shade. I don't know, right now I'm just improvising. I just want this to look like a little bit of something. Oh, auto getting. White brick. You're waiting for when I will do terrain. Are you planning user plugin or anything? So okay, you will have to be a little bit more specific for terrain, because right now technically my road is how I handle the terrain, right? It's the plane, and I have, for example, extruded this little road. And if anything, I'm gonna use a plane and then subdivide it to shape it. Hills Road, etc. Yeah, exactly. I would make the terrain in Blender. That's how I would do it. I don't even remember the factor here. That's a little bit sad. Well, this is smart. I don't know. I mean, there's no terrain thing in Godot, so... But yeah, I think I would like make it in Blender and then import it as a single plane mesh. Were you working in Godot for terrain was hell? Yeah, I tried and didn't turn out well. You like my chemise? Like my shirt? The chemise. Oh, why are you white? I will honestly just make one last layer of the white thing. And that's gonna be it. Anonymous user. Hey man, I've wanted to be a game developer for 5 years now, but have succumbed to playing video games instead. Well, that's part of it. Making them at every step. I have many ideas and dreams. I have no experience. Any advice? Advice. Well, it's kind of difficult because I don't know the entirety of the situation here. Because you can be wanting to make game dev, but you can basically have, I don't want to say zero skill, but you can have zero experience. As much as you can have like experience in some specific domains which are useful for game dev. For example, if you already know how to program, or how to draw digitally, how to model, that's gonna be a first step, and basically you should play around those things. So my advice is try to find the type of game you actually want to make, and the better would be that you choose a kind of game that matches what you already know how to do. For example, I was a programmer before being a game dev, so I started with idle games because they're very programming heavy, and you don't need to model bloody buildings to make an idle game. So that's a thing to consider. If you have like absolutely nothing, then what you have to consider is that maybe what you know, in a sense, could be game design or this kind of more hidden skills, which are not really shining in the spotlight on YouTube specifically. On YouTube, you're gonna have like basically people able to make prototypes who are gonna like take the entire spotlight, and flashy visuals and stuff. You really like Final Fantasy JRPGs. JRPGs are like the hardest game to make. I mean, not the hardest, but they're very hard. They need a lot of work. But eventually, it depends on your personality as well. Like, if you're really ready to stuck with one type of game and one project, eventually you will be able to make it if you're learning the entire time. But yeah, my suggestion is find tutorial series which are in the kind of game you want to make and which are fully guided. Like, no tutorials who are expecting you to do things on your own. Every step is shown and every step is explained why. You have to find something like this. I mean, I think that's the shortcut if you can't go through what I would say, game dev school. If you don't have access to a game dev school, then you will have to find very, 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 very guided tutorials to start with. And then once you're understanding a little bit of how it works, then you can consider start experimenting, prototyping, and crafting, right? Like, for example, here, I'm not following a guided tutorial for this, but I'm kind of, experimenting and prototyping because I have enough base understanding of how all this works. So this is schedule 2. Honestly, I might make this a Vampire the Masquerade inspired game, but with a huge essence of what you would find in Schedule 1 or Drug Dealer Simulator, yes. Just create, it's the best advice. Basically, yeah, you need to get to the point where you're able to make little projects by yourself and experiment. And then from there, you will just have to create a lot of projects, many projects. You remember First project, Vega game. Only 2 buttons worked. Well, it did work. Marco Polo. Eventually, yeah. So anyway, let's actually export this building. I hope I didn't break the inside. No, it should be fine. So Vampire Masquerade in low setting. I don't know if you can talk about low setting when the entire concept of the game is to literally be a book. So that is a high setting in some sorts. There we go. Would you look at that? That looks quite nice, not gonna lie. I hope one day can become like me. What you do for others is truly inspiring. Oh yeah, I'm truly a naturalist to do that, but mostly because I'm lazy and don't want to do regular jobs. That's the thing. In Blender, how? Or was it Godot? Oh, Godot. What was? Oh, you open the door? Yeah, that's Godot. Definitely. So the way the door works in Blender is it's just two objects, right? I just have one cube, one deformed cube here, and the door frame I used, the boolean to subtract it. But it's not the door I subtracted because it would have not worked since it is actually smaller than the door frame in the what is the axis? In the y-axis. So I had another object which I ultimately deleted. But yeah, it's actually, I mean, I've seen that in Blender before, using boolean to use different shapes to create well, things like the door frame, or I used it to make the room. And yeah, it was really watching it again in Bracky's 3D tutorial video, which got me to make the final click to finally use it. Alright, so actually let's actually think about the... I want to say... Yeah, next step for this. You're going, then bye, and thanks for passing by. That was cool. Nice of you. And good luck with the time map. I'm sorry I can't help with that, but I really hate it and really don't want to put my head in it. Would you say that more people have shifted to Godot from Unity? Definitely. I mean, the Unity drama did bring people in. That's a very sure thing. Then on the end I end up liking it better now, but probably because I have a better game dev skill in general. You're appreciating the halfway point of the you're approaching, sorry, the halfway point of the project where you test it. Yeah, sure, definitely test it. So right now I've basically, for this project, only worked on the modeling phase, and I think I'm gonna have to work on the other aspects, which are user interface. At the moment you have the final exam in a week, so don't have much time. Yeah, take your time. Like, I'm not going anywhere. So eventually I will start bringing in a little bit of user interface. Alright, let's see. Oh, come on. Oh, this mic is a little bit annoying because it's either too far or in front of the screen. I would like to actually make the door frame slightly bigger because right now it bugs me. Can you? Alright, there we go. Oh, no, no, no. Wait. But also, probably have to go in the edit mode of this one. Oh, I have to do both. Yikes. Well, I can just copy the like 0.4. Oh, no, no, no. 0.04. Do the same thing right here. Okay. Chup chup chup. Good luck, yada yada yada. Thanks. So you guys having a nice time. Let's go. Go watch tutorials, then stop and start doing projects. Yeah. So you kind of have to bounce between the two. Go watch tutorials, make projects, go back to new tutorials, projects, tutorials. Apart from game dev, did you have time to play some games recently? Well, I still kind of always play like sporadically a little bit of League of Legends and TFT on the side, because that's kind of my comfy blanket somehow. Like I've been playing these games since 2009, so. And Schedule 1 actually, I really enjoyed Schedule 1 recently, like big favorite of this moment. And I actually don't know, let me see. Yeah, the V-Rising update, of course, I loved that. Temtem, I played a little bit of that recently, that was cool. That's pretty much it, I think. Like, if we call recent. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I installed Rimroll, but couldn't make it work. Storage Hunter is a little bit back then. But yeah, eventually you can find, like, for example, Schedule 1 is something I played on stream, and I'm still playing it right now, so eventually I will go back to it very soon. It's a really fun game. It's the only way to escape tutorial. Yeah, you have to make your own thing at some point. Is playing Roblox dress me in Pokemon Go? Like literally, I've literally never played Roblox in my entire life. I don't even know really what it is. Pokemon Go, wow, I'm feeling old. Amers, how's it going? Very well. I'm working on a much more, I want to say, specific prototype here, and I'm pretty confident at the moment. You hate the tutorial hell because you can follow what the tutorial says step by step. Then if you try doing everything by yourself, you'll mainly fail to do so. Yeah, so exactly, that's this thing. You have to get to the point where from the tutorial you understand the underlying reasons of why you do things, so that you are able to get in that headspace of thinking, I want to make a button that generates resources, and I know what's the process for it. I can visualize it in my head and I can reproduce it on Godot, for example. So this is why I'm saying that the most important thing when you're very beginning stage is to find tutorials which are very guided. Because you need to understand why that function and why that signal, and etc, etc. Do what you did to escape. Go full YOLO in a project, watch tutorials. Want to add a text rainbow, you don't know how to search and find them. Well, I mean, this works when you're actually able to understand the underlying things happening behind the code, that works, yeah. But yeah, so some people work with that. I can't really make it work for me. I mean, it's a little bit more advanced thing. Like when you're still to the starting point, I think you can't really do that. Oh yeah, I was actually updating my door frame. Where's Blender? Door frame. Do I have to actually, you know, apply transforms? Or is it gonna break my stuff? I hope like applying transform isn't breaking things. It looks okay. You realized that the reason you had trouble getting out of tutorial hair was because you didn't follow tutorials correctly. When you started pausing a tutorial before they do something and tried doing it myself first. Yeah, that was better. That's something I tried to make in my most recent tutorial, like the tower defense one. I really tried to give those pointers to give resources to the viewer and then say, all right, now here's what you can try to do. And you try to do it, and then like you pause the video, you do it at this moment. I'm really literally saying this so that people can think about actually doing those exercises. Sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're easy. So yeah, but yeah, something which really helped me, when was it? It was when I was following C++ tutorials to make, to create a window, you know, create a window, open the graphic pipeline, all that kind of stuff. What I was doing is at the end of every tutorial, I would open Obsidian, create a note, a kind of review everything that was in the video to see if I was able to just, you know, write it down. And more often than not, I realized at the end that I actually understood nothing, so I had to go back, rewatch some specific parts to understand a little bit better what was going on. So yeah, note-taking, really helpful. Really helpful. Where are we in the album? Okay. So I'm gonna make this a tab container. I kind of like this idea. With an empty panel. 2D or 3D would be better as a start because both styles look daunting in terms of complexity. Honestly, I started with neither of those. Like if you look at my Stardust series, for example, my very first series on this channel, I did nothing. I mean, I didn't do either 2D or 3D. It was just control nodes and textures. That's all. And I started this way. Then it might be a unpopular opinion here regarding people's in the channel, but I do feel that 3D is actually easier than 2D. So yeah, okay, no, I'm gonna just give you one advice, which is sad because it's terrible, but don't start with isometric 2D games. Don't do that. They're beautiful, they're amazing, but don't. There are complexities which are just too complicated. Honestly, 3D has a little bit more to understand because you have more tools to work with, but ultimately there's a lot less mathematics to work with 3D. So I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I can't draw. So since I can draw, to me it's easier to make like a model like this than draw it in pixel art or vector art or whatever. So that makes 3D better for me.
How do I put this? Have you ever
It doesn't really matter, the more control the player has over the game, the easier it is. Platformer, the player goes wherever he wants and jump, and you make an idle game, there's a lot.
Well, what did you plant? Green beans.
Of code, I didn't have to do other than press buttons. Yeah, that's kind of the unexpected reality of idle games. They look very simple for the user, but when you actually see what's behind it, like the amount of code that goes behind an idle game is absolutely crazy. Hi, Liz, how you doing? Team 3D, yes, definitely. 3D is a bloody banger. Like, I just can't see myself drawing 2D things. I mean, even though I think I would go into vector art one of these days, this is not one of these days. So what about you? What time is it? Like, did the column thing ended up? No, it actually... The column. Puyo puyo. Actually ending soon.
You don't know where you're headed, but you were put here, and I've always known.
I think I've seen,
I've never felt it.
like, yesterday,
Thousands meeting.
or like, let's say a few days ago, I've seen your
This is a good garden.
Puyo Puyo game with the little blocks. I just saw a few seconds of it, like the starting of the level, the animation of everything falling into place. That was brilliant. So you're probably I mean, that's for you to judge, but you probably did a way better job on this jam than the previous one, because I don't know what you did. It is a bit easier once you understand the basics of coding / Godot. And I think it's actually easier in general because, for example, when you're using 2D, you have to deal with the what sprite is going to display in front of what other sprite, while 3D is all automatic. You apologize to everyone for the annoying questions? No, that's kind of the point of those streams, you know. Very curious because game development is the best way to connect with a lot of people at the same time. Well, sadly, I think it's a very isolating industry. I mean, it's very hard to connect because everyone is kind of working on their thing, and to get people to work on your project, where you have to get them interested in your project, so I think it's kind of difficult. And isolation is like the huge predator of anyone getting in game dev. Really appreciate it. It's the best one yet. Yeah, it was. I mean, the amount of animations and stuff, like, it clearly shows that everything you've learned on all your previous projects like has clicked for real on this one. Like, it clicked in, you know, those moments when you have an epiphany and you have like a huge jump, a huge step up in the quality of what you can make. Right? It's like when I started this project and well, I have to say this. I just wanted to make a door, and when I see how it ended up like working so precise and just by, you know, approaching the door and having the door open and close, like, that was just a few lines of code and stuff, and I was quite surprised. But yeah, that's the kind of, you know, little jump you make sometimes. That's so appreciative as a dev to kind of witness that in general, both in your games and in artist games. The user interface also, like, user interface, you're never done learning user interface. That's absolutely crazy. better not say that again. No stupid question. Is this true that there's no stupid question? Alright, so let's make the nothing control actually. So control empty, mouse, ignore. So that's gonna be when the player, and I can actually make a rectangle, something. There we go. Make it not catch the mouse. And if everything works well, I can bring that to game. Okay, let's see. We're gonna cook a game node real quick. As the learning comes together bit by bit. Yeah, that's always lovely to spot, to notice. Maybe I will be playing the games of the jam even though I'm not participating. Because I made my first basically from in my side, what happened is I made my first prototype, which is functional. You can play the game. You have like the very most minimal product, and I basically lost interest. Was interested in other projects more than the columns thing, even though it was really interesting. I mean, it's not the right time for me. I will come back to it much later probably. And since I did C# anyway and stuff, I was like, it's not gonna be a big deal. But C# web export is actually coming, so maybe maybe not the 4.5, but eventually 4.6 is going to allow C# export. It's okay for me to ask everything here. What inspired you to take up game development? Like video game, for example, that inspired you? Honestly, it's something that has been an underlying passion for, I mean, not really passion, but a drive that I had since very long time. Just to give you an example, I had my very first games very young. Like, I finished my first Pokemon game before learning how to read, so I started really young. And then this kind of led me to pursue the learning of programming. And I kind of lost track of it because I tried to go in a game dev school, which I couldn't go to because that was just obnoxiously expensive. Like, it was more expensive than the top engineering school in France, and no scholarship at all. So eventually I just ended up like kind of dropping the idea, and I always saw this universe as something daunting and too big. Until at some point I snapped, burnt out on my job, and thought, okay, I'm just gonna stop do web development and stuff just because. And at, you know, around 28, 27, I don't remember exactly, I started thinking about doing game dev, and I started real small with real small steps, and that went in. Like, you see, I'm gonna say that I really started it January 2024. That's when I started Godot and fully went into it. Before that, there was just dabbling. And 1 year later, 1 year and a half, I think I'm doing decent. You wanted to do Hollow Knight 2. I mean, that's the thing, right? One day someone said that it was kind of sad that I don't have a dream game. Like, they felt sad for me, but I don't know. To me, it's actually a blessing because I'm not like stuck on this idea of, but I can't make it. It's okay, I can't make any kind of game. Regarding losing interest, that's fair. It's important to follow what you were interested in sometimes. Yeah, I mean, for sure, definitely. But it's also like, when I got into this jam, because I didn't plan to enter the jam at first, I just saw the jam announcements you made, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna check in. And since the Puyo Puyo game was really close to the column games, I had this little temporary spark of curiosity. Can I actually make columns? and that's what I explored. Yeah, it's sort of what explode thing. It's sort of me. I'm the only guy doing C sharp. No, I'm not the only guy doing C sharp. There's Firebelly who's doing C sharp as well. This guy does C sharp. I don't really follow the content because I can't really get into following streams these days. Like, actually, I do watch, you know, TTRPG, people playing TTRPGs, and I have 2 series working at the same time. Yeah. Fuzzy brain. You have experience, but you still struggle to finish something? No, that's, I mean, yes, but that's my personality type. Like, that's the way I work. I'm not, you know, I'm a sprinter. I'm not an endurance runner. And most of the time, it's very hard for me to work on something I'm not interested in. And right now, my interest is not to finish project. I have 0 interest in finishing projects. My main interest is learning and actually find enough motivation to keep the channel going, so I just don't throw it through the window and just quit YouTube altogether. User, you used to write stories and modded Fallout New Vegas to help me write the story. Fell in love with game there. Oh, that's pretty cool. Like, a lot of people actually started modding, I think. It's very common. Oh, anonymous user, and then I get it. Write stories and modded Fallout. Honestly, modding to me seems so complicated. I just can't get my head around it. The hours come and you take your leave in earnest. Oh yeah, you're going. Well, have a nice... Are you going for the exam or something? And we have a lot of dark soully ominous. Paper Predict, thanks for it. Sable finished the Bloons clone? Yeah, I actually finished 2 games. And that's actually the 2 jams I really participated in. Not to mention, I mean, I'm not gonna consider the 1 hour game jams in there, because I did a lot of micro projects in there, which was super fun and super interesting. But yeah, technically I finished 2. Well, the first one isn't really per se finished. It's kind of a demo game of a new, I want to say, a gameplay concept I've never seen before. So, but yeah, the Balloons game is definitely finished. Even though the roguelike cards augment thing could be a little bit more polished, the game otherwise and it was really good. Well, honestly, a big part of the, I mean, even though I did like the heavy lifting of the game with the programming and stuff, what really made it stand out as well is the art, which I had no real input in, except from having like, I was like very much limiting the creativity of Alfiam in this one. Like, he wanted to do tons of crazy things. I was like, no. Just keep it balloons thing, like monkeys and balloons. That's all. With an impossible ending. Actually, I think now it's possible. Because I did nerf the difficulty in the base game. So it is, I think it's possible now. Okay, since we are talking about this, those who were in the very early streams of the Sable Balloons game, the initial idea that I wanted to do, if we didn't go with Monkey, I wanted to have grandmas knitting needles. That's what I wanted. But Elfiam said, no, I'm not gonna draw that. After struggling 1 hour? Well, maybe you did the difficult version. I remember you... Was it you who tried the difficult version? Why is world blue? Godot, why are you doing this to me? I love the grandma's idea. Yeah, it was... in my head it was really fun, but just like I didn't have the skill. Another option was to have sables instead of monkeys, but I can draw sables, and even Alfion was like, they would look too weird. Like, monkeys are recognizable when they are simple shapes like this, but like a ferret is just not gonna work. Yeah, Starians resting and finishing the exams. Must be complicated to learn game dev while you're actually spending energy in something else in your life. Must be really complicated. Took me actually years to bundle these nodes together. So here's the canvas layer with the user interface. So here you have the green node. It's actually funny that my Discord didn't go in the streamer mode. Why? Do I have to activate it right now? Streamer. Is it gone? Probably not. Oh, there it is. But yeah, the time map thing, I don't know. Time maps are like... ugh. They're probably good, it's just that I can't understand them, and when I don't understand something, I just don't want to overthink it. I think personality is the fear of incompetence and feeling lack of road that stops me from engaging as well. What if people hate it? Oh yeah, like imposter syndrome, definitely. That's something like a lot of people will have to deal with. For me, really, the most complicated thing to work with was the stigma that games are for stupid people and playing games is wasting time, which I had because of my environment when I was a kid, you know. And you just, I mean, it's kind of those things, right? Like you can make a career out of art. Like, okay, you're drawing, but you're not gonna make a career out of it. You're gonna make advertising and stuff. And yeah, game dev was pretty much the same thing. And at the same time, I had this idea of if you don't have the opportunity to learn, like for real with teachers and stuff, it's gonna be too hard because there's just too much in the... there's just too much to do, which is true. Like, I've never seen something as complicated as game dev in terms of crafting something. And well, actually it is manageable. You can work your way through it bit by bit. All right, so we do have the white dot. So 35 minutes to make a white dot. Yay. And now maybe I can try to make a kind of inventory view. Let me enjoy my door. Oh, by the way, is it still working? Yes, we are not interacting with the door through the wall. Great. So user interface. Nothing. More like gameplay. No. First person? Yes, first person. So I have to make a singleton out of this user interface. My trusty singleton. Alright. Oh, by the way, Liz, if you're still there, when we were discussing those reasons why I switched to C#, There is one which is very minor because it's actually very easy to work around it in JavaScript, especially by using the event signal bus pattern from the with the Autoload, you know. But in C# you have the possibility to make static signals, and to me that's just very lovely. I really love this idea. But yeah, it is actually very easy to work around it with JavaScript. What about visual novels? They seem like a great start too. Well, if, for example, if you have great writing skills, you can make this kind of games quite easily. Especially if you don't really care about the concept of making the code yourself. There are a ton of frameworks which allows you to make visual novels quite easily just by using file formatting, and you know, you write the stories and you bundle your files in a specific way, and then the framework is creating this little package for you, so you don't have to do the heavy lifting of programming. So that's a good entry point, I think. And then if you want to program it yourself, it's probably not going to be too difficult. Usually it can be frustrating because user interface is something which people experience as frustrating in general. I have this very lucky trait of enjoying user interface a lot, which is very uncommon, but usually people hate that. But yeah, that's other than this kind of frustration, it's probably quite easy to start with. There's gonna be I mean, it has this hidden difficulty, kind of like the idle games, that it is, I mean, visual novels, you can't make one by making one singular big file. You really have to master the concept of having a whole bunch of different files seamlessly blending together, and this can be very hard, maybe at the start. Random person, do you even game dev, Sable? Look at my door. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Is it similar to creating a static reference in a script to itself in an init? The idea is the same. It's like, for example, let's say that you just want to create a script which is managing your amount of coins as a resource, like currency. Then you create a static signal which says gold updated or gold created, gold deleted, those kind of signals. And the thing is, technically you don't really care to know how and why this gold has been created. Like, it can be a monster dying, it can be a quest completion, it's absolutely not important. What's important is that it's an easy access thing, and yeah, so you just make it static, so only one of the signal exists, and that's it. So as you say, you're actually very on point here. It is very similar to create a static reference, as in my singleton pattern, because technically what you can do is create a singleton, or which is the same idea as creating an autoload, and then you have a signal in there, so the signal is theoretically becoming static because the instance is static. However, there's just one very subtle difference here. It is that for this to work, the signal has to be attached to a node, and the node has to be static and created in the scene tree. So what C# allows you to do is to basically create a static signal which doesn't have to be bound to a node, so it doesn't have to be added to the scene tree in and of itself. So it can be a floating signal which is still globally accessible, semi-global because it's static, but you don't have, I mean, it's way cheaper in terms of optimization and performances, because, you know, when you go in Godot and you look at what a node is right there, like every time you want to create a node to have static signals, you're gonna have this amount of methods and this amount of properties and the processing and everything which are going on. And by this static signal thing, you actually completely bypass the need of having a node. And that's the kind of thing which is very subtle, but I really like it. And since I have very specific ways to organize my code, for example, I don't like the signal bus pattern because you kind of have to create, to bundle all the signals in a big autoload bus, which is very fine. It works perfectly well. In my opinion, I think it's the best way to handle static signals in JavaScript, or just global signals in general. But I just love to have this idea of I create a script which manages gold, and the signal gold is bundled in this semi-global class gold instead of signals.gold created. It makes it easier on my brain. I find it really interesting how some games can switch from one playstyle to another, like minigames for example, and off-topic elements that had uniqueness to the gameplay. Yeah. There's this kind of little gems sometimes that you can find, which are very cool. And some games can blend very well together, and it's not really obvious, like you kind of have to make it. And usually the person who's gonna have the idea will see how it's gonna blend, so they will know exactly how to make that. So eventually you will have to trust your gut, and this is a very, very hard thing when you're beginner game dev, which is balancing having to trust others because they have more experience than you, and having to trust yourself and your guts because you are your own creative powerhouse. Like, just to take the example of what we were talking like a few seconds ago, this singleton pattern that I'm using is something which is very, very common, and something that I brought in because I was a programmer before you being a Godot programmer or GDScript programmer. So I brought this because it's easier for me, and most of the people who used it really enjoy it. Interesting, that does sound nice. Thanks for explaining. You're welcome. But yeah, I really love it. Oh wait, is that the end? Yes, it was. Which one? Let me see. That's gonna change the album. Oh yeah, let's go with this one. It's change of ambience, but you will try C# in Godot soon? I actually don't know if there's a good tutorial on how to transition from one to another. If I found one which is, explaining the similarities, what's gonna change, how you can, I will share that. But I actually didn't search for one because I knew C# before. But honestly, it's very, I don't know. If you've been typing in GDScript, which I believe you did, the heavy lifting of understanding how the object-oriented programming works, you've already done that. So I'm gonna say that 90% of the job's done. Then it's just a question of understanding the little, little details. There are a few things to know, like for example, when you're calling on GDScript methods or Godot API methods, you have to use uppercases like this, like Q3 is written like this. Kind of little thing. And as for the C# thing, at the very beginning, honestly, it was annoying. Like, it is very, very frustrating. to transition from one to the other. But honestly, it was very frustrating to go from C# to JavaScript, and then it was very frustrating to go from JavaScript to C#. So yeah, we can't escape that, I think. Another intriguing question is, which language would you recommend in Godot, like C++, C# or JavaScript? C++, you're not going to need to use that. It's to edit the engine in and of itself, so you will not have to use that. JavaScript is honestly very good. It's very plenty, and it's very beginner friendly, which is good. And it is beginner friendly, and at the same time, it has the potential to handle the complexities. So you can learn to kind of step up in your programming structure and practices, so that at some point, if you want to go to C# for any reason, like for example, a good reason to switch to C# is just to, broaden, like widen your range of skill in programming, and say that you're not limited to Godot, because as soon as you know C#, you can use Unity, and you are basically a software engineer in general. So it's very, very good. Syntax stuff is your challenge. Yeah, I mean, it is, yeah, there's a little bit of things which is annoying, but I mean, if you were able to learn JavaScript, you will be able to learn C#, I think. Because it's a little bit more, the term I have in my head is verbose, like you have to type a little bit more. You have the curly braces and stuff, but I don't see that as a limitation or problem. Then that's pretty much up to everyone to decide on this one. And yeah, you'd say JavaScript, but you're biased because you've... No, honestly, it is. I really think it is the best way to get in game dev in general. Like, I would recommend Godot and JavaScript 100 times before recommending, for example, Unity and C#. Like, definitely, there's no doubt on that. Because by the way, Anonymous, Hyper Game Dev, that's a game dev channel as well, and she's doing a lot of Godot content, and especially hosting, events like game jams and stuff, which are very interesting to get in touch with the community. And if you're actually curious to go back in time, she can elaborate on that, but I believe that she filmed and streamed all her learning of JavaScript and stuff. So it can be a kind of interesting Netflix series to have on the side to kind of see how it goes when you're... I think you did visual scripting before? But yeah. Feel free to elaborate on that, because I don't know the full story here. It's just a... the little details I got here and there. Because at the same time, as you like explaining this, that will allow me to kind of go a little bit more like this, because it's like very, very unusual for my chat to be this active. I'm not used to it, and I can get distracted very easily. Well, mostly because I actually want to be distracted. In the sense that I do enjoy the sharing in game dev. That's my initial goal. Alright, so we exit the tree, we reset the instance, and we check that it is... Okay, correct. I'm actually gonna create a new block. Okay, that's a little thing in C#, which is really anecdotal, but I kind of like the idea of being able to do that. You can literally create different blocks of your class. It does nothing but be different blocks. But I think like sometimes it makes it easy to read your class, right? Here I have my singleton pattern, so I'm not gonna go in this block anymore. So I create another one under it. And usually I create a singleton block, a static block, and an instance block. Example, your entire journey is, yeah, you have your entire journey from the beginning, which is very cool, I think. First live stream on the channel is the first time I'm gonna do it, and I think it was a few years ago. Like, you've been practicing for quite a while now. Well, you tell us. 2 years? 3 years? Oh, Riz, welcome back. You recently made your fighting system for Godot, but now you're struggling with safe house system, like a base where the player should load spawn in once unlocked. What is the difficulty? I don't know. Right now the word popping in my head is area. Like, I would be using areas. Oh. Problem. Tab container. Let me actually find those videos. Oh, am I gonna... I think that's your lives. The oldest one is... Oh wait, only 1 year? Oh, I actually thought it was older than this. Or maybe it's because of the... you know... of the timing in YouTube, like when it is between 1 and 2 years. So it could be like 1 year and 10. What do you think about cinematic creation? I have no idea what this is. Like, I don't know, it's supposed to be like a tree base camp where you can rest and go for hunts later on. Have anything like that on the channel? Not really. But yeah, it's like, what is it that you want to achieve that you can't? Because, for example, I want to say I thought of something slightly in this line, which is here. If we go see my world, I want the game to be happening at night most of the time. So the environment has to be set up for nighttime. But then the player's also gonna play mostly indoors, which means that the game will have to know when the player is indoors or not. So here the player haven, this little house, it's actually gonna require to know when the player is in or not, so that the environment thing can adjust, right? So here you're in the night and there's a little blue tint on the view, and then you get in and the blue tint is gone to be replaced by a white tint. So you see every colors perfectly because you're indoors. And I would achieve that by having, you know, an area 3D in this entire room, so that when the player is here, it detects the player, but it's not really handling the spawning or anything. Creating cinematic cutscenes in the beginning, middle, and the end of the game. Oh, I've done one. How would you go about expressing your opinion on the matter? I don't really have an opinion on that. As in, I've done it only once, and it's not specifically something I'm wanting to do right now, so it's pretty much non-existent in my mind world. It's mainly that when you start the game, you would start from like an interesting. Yes, yeah, maybe that I did that on my first game actually. But once you reach the scene where you unlock the base, the next time the player runs the game, it shouldn't load. Yep. So I did that once. So it's basically just go to scenes, going one after the other, and they are, you know, it works with timers sort of, and you have a timer triggering one sprite moving, then text displaying, and eventually waiting for an input, and then another timer ends, something else moves. I handled it this way. So we're gonna create a control, actually a panel, inventory. Do I actually dare to? I'm not at the moment, so I'll make it simple. I just have a label at the center. Well, I don't really have to say label, I can say inventory. Maybe I can have inputs. I should be watching for inputs, I think. So I'm gonna override the input. Actually, I can, now that I think about it, I can share the game I'm talking about. Like, it is my very first game, right? So the big no thing is that it has no sound. But yeah, there's a little bit of a cutscene. So that was a game jam, 10 days game jam actually. Do I actually input that mouse mode? Release it? Visible. Visible. Most of your code comes from ChatGPT. Your coding knowledge is like base Python, a little bit of Pygame. So I don't think I'm gonna recommend doing that on the long run, but that's your choice. Like I guess that makes sense when you. I mean, if you can't code, like yeah, that makes sense. Depends on your goal. Like if your goal is just to work on the other aspects, then why not? But if your objective, your goal really is to become a game programmer, I would not recommend it. But it's really, there's one thing though which I still have to credit those things for. It is sometimes it is quite good to understand code you don't understand. or try to generate an idea. I just try not to use it. Anyways, you go to sleep. Well, good night and thanks for passing by. That was really nice of you. Thanks for the stream. Well, thanks for passing by. I appreciate the company. Because as I said before, to me, the #1 killer of game dev people is loneliness and isolation. Especially if you are not working for a company. So I do need an inventory input actually. Here's I. Like, maybe I should have a... Do I return, by the way? Probably want to return. Key pressed. Key escape. Now, it's like... C# is always running for key press. Oh no, I have to put that in. So here, go to person. Return. Oh, I think I'm gonna start with... Yep. Well, actually... Oh. Debugger. Interesting. Object not set to... Oh, yes, indeed. So... Let's see the user interface here. First thing... So ready. We initialize the type container with get node. So here's an example for you, Liz. Something which people can find very, very, very frustrating in C#. That's this syntax to get node. You can't use the $sign or the %. You have to use the get node method, and you have to type the node if you don't want it to be returned as a node type. Some people hate it, for some reasons I do love it. So that's part of my brain twisted aspect. Less convenient, but the precision is kind of not. Well, there's this thing. There's indeed this, you need to make sure it is structured in your head. But for example, like, it is a very, I want to say, nitpicking thing. In my tutorial series, when I was teaching the how to grab nodes with the get node thing, I would, in GDScript, use the get node method, right? Like this method. Because it forces you to understand the underlying thing happening in the program, which happens when you use the get node method. Because what I see, like a very common thing I see is like people using the $, like $node, which is really, really powerful tool. But what happens behind the screen is not really, like, people don't know why it works. And because they don't know why it works, they don't know how to use it properly and how to be creative by using it. So I've been like very, very nitpicking with this in my first series, but I was a little bit more relaxed with that after. Like, I At first I used export, and then I realized that the most common error people had was like not binding the export in the user interface because they were like just scrolling through the video and missing that part. So I was like, I'm just gonna not use export, because if it is in the, since people just watch the script, I'm just gonna put it in the script so they don't miss it. Then yeah, kind of a complicated topic. Right, let's see. Does the inventory work now? So by default, nothing. We can. Oh, interesting. Why? We're almost good. We just don't switch. Tab container is 1, but it's not. And here, I kind of want to get to first person, like go to first person. I hate this name. Return to? I will see that later. Let's see, override input. Input inventory. Mouse visible. Current tab equal 1. 0, 1. That's confused. Oh, debugger? Okay. Did I not type the name correctly? Tab container. It is supposed to be right? Is it actually the error I have? Wait. Oh, what? Oh, maybe I didn't save. Okay, maybe I didn't save. Okay, now let's use our magic. Are you streaming today, by the way? Oh, probably not. You would have started already. Please. I'm thinking a grid container. Skipping today since the last day of the jam is tomorrow. You want to stream up until the deadline, but also not burn out by also streaming today. Yeah. You're very cautious with this kind of thing, which is pretty good. So having burnt out once in my life, yeah, you're right to be very cautious with that. Like, programming is this thing I love the most doing in a, I don't want to say in a productive sense, but in all my life, from my studies and things like work, that's really the thing I love the most. When I burnt out, I was so sick of it that I couldn't make a single line of code for almost 2 years. And I had to find other things to do. That was a very, very dark time. Actually, it was really great because it helped me focus on other stuff like psychology, philosophy. But it was kind of weird, right? Like opening Visual Studio Code, writing 2 lines, and feeling bad, like wanting to puke. Ew. Sorry to, well, actually, I mean, yeah, I see why, but honestly, like when you're in it's a little bit. I mean, I wasn't even. I don't know. It was kind of a relief at the time, like as in, you know, the moment you crack. I mean, when in my case, like that was my situation. Like you can't extrapolate this, but when I cracked, it felt like a relief. Like I didn't have to put up with things I didn't want to do every day. Like, so yeah, it was kind of relief, and engaging in this that psychology and philosophy part, like that taught me a lot. The philosophy part is very French of you. Oh, maybe. Actually, the I want to say funny side of that is that I've learned with English material exclusively for this one, because I was kind of exploring those domains by myself, and yeah, by using English material I had a way much variety of things at my disposition. Yeah, because, well, my brain thought of disposal, but it's something very different. Container. How many items do I give? 32 items? That's great. Alright, so we're gonna go make a big script. So the question is, do I actually separate this logic into two entities? Or do I leave the logic in the UI? I'll probably want a... Oh. It's a really tough one. Really tough one. I'm gonna make an inventory script, I think. Alright. So another node. Alright. Public dictionary. And here we start using the big bads. Probably an inventory ID. Definitely an integer. And an item, so... maybe I should create the items before I make the inventory. Okay. New idea. Dictionary. I'm just gonna use booleans at the moment to say yes item, no item. And then we will create items and replace boolean. It's a simple for loop. So we have 32, I think. Index inferior to 32. Index plus equal 1. Yep. Should I make this static actually? Probably. I don't need several. Oh, this is something you can do with C# that you can't do with JavaScript. That's very precise, but basically it is making a static constructor or a static underscore init function, which automatically triggers the first time you call on the constructor. I mean, on the global class. Actually, a boolean. When you get an item, probably with an index. Actually, no, I'm gonna just return dictionary index. Oh, creating items. I forgot how complicated those things are. So at the moment we're just not gonna I'm not gonna add much to this. So I need to make a function to basically grab the first slot which is empty in the inventory. So we're gonna make the same thing. I'm just gonna use an inventory size. Like constant? And oh, can you do constant and static? C# static. Is that a thing? Where's the English? Public constant double. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. Like 32. And here, inventory size. Well, compiler has no errors, so it works. So we said we're gonna run through every index from 0. Exactly. Very smart autocomplete. Okay, so create item. Index. Get first empty slot. Why? Oh, it's not static. So if index is equal to -1. Wow, very, very smart. Maybe a little JD print like inventory is full. I'm definitely not gonna test this. Will also be going off. Well, thanks for passing by. I think it's a welcome. I don't remember if I've seen you before. I don't think so. And it's complicated, you're an animals. Once again, appreciate the input, attention, and advice. Thank you, and keep crushing it. Well, thank you, and you have a great game dev experience. Good luck with that. It's a huge journey. It's huge and epic. I really suggest you to watch a wide variety of content creators, because every content creator has their own little touch, which is really like, they all have their gems. For example, Hyper Game Dev is very good at making 3D games. And I do admit that the Team 3D has really convincing. I'm lacking the words here. Arguments? Not really arguments. Assets? Like, I have yet to make my first UV map to create a textured mesh, but I have a very well synthesized tutorial which Liz literally did for me during a live. Yes, just actually turning it to true. Dictionary. Not really add. Actually, is this gonna work? Can you push items by creating keys like that? Oh, we're gonna see. Like... brain's blanking. It's rebooting, it's coming back. Yeah, ready. I'm just gonna add an item, so inventory. Create item. Am I exploding Godot right now? Object reference not set. Okay, so I probably have to add. Add the specified key and value. Okay, so I have to add the index false. So that's something which is kind of cool you can do with the script. I mean, it's just that it's bundled in it. Oh, really? Still an error? The type initializer for inventory. Adds the specified key and value to the dictionary. Oh, I got it. So let's try the actual. I just didn't initialize the dictionary. Like this. Yeah, here we go. So we don't see anything anyway. I'm actually gonna take like a few seconds to be right back. I'm gonna show you this beautiful building. I'll be right back. Oh, wait. Well, building's coming back. Alrighty. Back actually. Alright. So, yeah, I'm actually wanting to visualize this as quick as possible. So, I probably should create a inventory little, node. I will have to. Okay, so great. I'm gonna use maybe a panel panel, like inventory dot UI. That's gonna be a panel. That's centered. Maybe I don't know. 64 is this too big? Probably not. Yeah. And then theme override. Okay, make a simple style box line, I think. Color white. Not perfect white. Oh no, that's a line. That's not what I want. It's actually a flat with a transparent background. 4 pixel border radius. No, white. Sorry. 2. 2 is probably okay. Border. A little bit more white than this. Or we could have the border change a little bit. That's definitely not the moment to do that. Okay. And let's have a texture. Well, maybe I want the texture to be 64 and the slot to be slightly bigger, like 70, but still center, please. Center. Let's try this. Ignore size, keep aspect, I think. That looks like it. But I expected this to be slightly bigger. So let's try. Yes, that's pretty much what I had in mind. Okay. Inventory slot, you only need to save that. We need to say. I don't know if I actually watch album. Maybe I'm in the mood for the cryptids. Right. Oh. Let's go. It is a panel. And okay, something very simple. Huh. Huh. Yeah, public void. I'm gonna have show item and hide item. Those are like temporary method just to kind of give substance to this little thing. I'm gonna get node texture rack. Yeah.
There's something in the woods, Lisa, and I intend on finding out what it is.
Falsy. Alright. So we have the inventory slot, which means, and by default, just to be sure, we never know. Override ready. Let's hide item by default. Do that, guys. When you have user interface like this, and for example here you have a texture rect, and you know that it's going to be initialized like visible false, add this in ready. This way you can go in the script, have this visible, make all your edits and stuff, and you're not really risking breaking your game. I mean, I really like this practice. Anyway, we have the inventory UI somewhere. Okay, so here we are gonna initialize all the nodes for our inventory. So I'm gonna create the trusty constructor pattern that Qball shared. So since I'm gonna use that, and I really love it, I'm gonna share that with you right now. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not bursting your ears. Alright, videos. Constructor. There we go. Okay. There I remove the timestamp. So you guys go check that, because this you need to add to Godot, like for real. Where's OBS? Right here. And here's the crypto back. Okay. Anyway. We're gonna have a public static inventory slot UI. Create. Yeah, create. So eternal. I need to go fetch my UID, copy UID. Constant string packed scene path. There we go. You should probably do that. Yeah, honestly, it is brilliant. Which is very funny because I actually made a very similar video around the same time. So I don't know if he saw my video and he was like, wait, my solution is actually better, and it really is. And he shared his video like a few days later. And honestly, yeah, it's really good. Basically the idea, I'm gonna resume that very quickly. Here I have this scene, which is the inventory slot UI, and my inventory UI is gonna generate 32 of those. So what we're doing is, in the script of the inventory slot, we're gonna say, yeah, it's so hard to tell. I mean, the timing would say so, because, I mean, that would make sense, and it's very similar thing, but it's, I mean, like, it makes sense because we have two very different ways to approach the thing, but it is such an important thing to do in Godot in general that, yeah, having different understanding of it is really good. And I actually, as soon as I posted this video, I changed mine to take his because it's so much better. But yeah, basically, you create a static function which is returning the type of it's returning itself basically, and then by grabbing your scene path or UID, whatever you prefer, you just, you know, return the instantiation. So here we go fetch the resource loader. So it is the you know, C# long way to say load. Well, actually we have to load first. Load here, we load the packed scene, and we load the packed scene path. So it's really just load parenthesis scene path, and from there we instantiate as a inventory, oopsie, inventory.ui, and we return this. So it returns an instance of this node, and it's like one line, two line. In JavaScript it would really look like this probably. Load packed scene path dot instantiate. This is definitely enough. And eventually, like, you can add the as inventory if you need the type somewhere specifically, you know how this works. Maybe. And there you go. And then eventually you can inject data here, right here. Like, for example, a texture or the index of the item you want in the slot. And yeah, very, very easy. So now, for the second part of the example, in the initialization or the inventory, I just go with the public function or void function, which is going to be initialize inventory slots. I'm going to make a loop. So for an index, which is going to go from inventory. Can I get inventory size here? Oh no. I'm taking a few seconds to create that. Public create item, get item, public int get inventory size. There we go. So here we loop to the get inventory size. No. Oh, I didn't save. I'm a little confused. Why? Public int get inventory size. What's the problem? Oh, probably because of this. Like, are you happy? I'm a little confused now. Inventory, an object reference is required for a non-static. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, whoa. Right, and for everything here, we're gonna create, so inventory slot UI dot create, and we're gonna add child of this basically. So I just need to grab a private reference of my grid container. I need to initialize it, of course. Oh, don't make the same mistake twice. Yeah, of course I do. But I did it like 2 hours ago, so I think I can avoid it now. Anyway. Grid a child inventory slots. Okay. So probably like I'm just gonna check that. I mean, override ready, initialize. So it's not done, but I just want to make sure that I don't know. It's probably it could bug. Like I've been a little bit careless. Yeah. Debugger. Grid container. Oh, yeah. That's a very funny mistake. It's empty though. Interesting. Can I see the... Yes, I can. Game, user interface. So they are here, but we can see them. Why? That's very funny. What's going on? I know. We're gonna go here and bring in a few inventory slots. Wait, what? Why is there no content? Not expand? Like, is it because of the size of the grid? That would be so weird. There you go. It is a container, it is supposed to... It is supposed to expand based on the content, right? Am I tripping right now? And why can't we see the border? That's very confusing. Like, you do have this time box, but the size? Like, why is the size 0? Wow. Like, the size isn't bundled in? Like, you don't save the size? Did I click? No. So maybe it doesn't save, for some reasons it needs... Okay, there we go. Alright. That's an interesting finding. Having a transform size is overridden. Anyway, grid container. Can I have a panel? No? Oh, that's fun. I need a panel container around it. Okay, panel container. And this one's gonna be solid. Are you winning, son? Yeah, I think I do. I'm plenty motivated. It looks great. I'm going on uncharted territories. I love that. What about you? What's up? Which project are you on? Like the platformer bad thing? I really love the bat, she's so cute. If it's a she. content margin. You're on the university exams. Oh well, then good luck. Hope you're winning that. It's great that you can focus on this. Okay, let's just make sure it is darker. Corner radius. Enlighten me with your UI texturing skills. I mean, I don't need it to be great, I just need it to work. You wanna see my door? Okay, so we have an inventory. I have some thought about making card games. I've heard they are great learning material. And someone made a video about that, and it looked absolutely amazing. I have no idea what this was, but I just remember that the cards were so beautiful. That was pixel art? Was it Ezra? No, wasn't it? Was it Fire Belly? No. Was it Cubo? Probably not. Yeah, it's not Cubo either. Oh, maybe Coding Quest? Maybe it was someone I'm not subscribed to. Oh. Oh, I'm so sad I lost it. Like, I saw the thumbnail. I was like flabbergasted. Yeah, it's definitely lost. Well, actually, card game, game dev. We never know. Ugh. Yeah. Goodbye, my old friend. Oh. This one's nice. I mean, I don't know the video, but just looking at it, it looks interesting. Like, you check that. I mean, I don't know, I just like the look of it. Anyway. That's the chat. Are you talking about Bilateral Master? No. That was Ezra, definitely. And I mean, Ezra did it, and someone else did it too. Hey, you heading out? Yeah, thank you for passing by. That was very nice having you here. And I hope the how do you name that? The end of the Puyo Puyo Game Jam is gonna be great. Like a good celebratory game testing. I wish you that. You have fun with that. And eventually I will be playing the games, in some of the games, because that's probably a lot. And you take care. I was thinking, yeah, Ezra did one, and there's another one. There's the Slay the Spire one, which is pretty good, I think. But no, it was a card game thing, and I think we were more like on a Hearthstone basis. But the cards were so beautiful. Maybe someone posted that on Discord. Or did I see that on Cubal's Discord? Godot card game. Well, I think I will have to come back to it later and share it as soon as I see it again. Okay, so YouTube, hear me. Show me the thumbnails you shared to me like a few days ago. Do that again. Thanks. Okay, I need to expand. Oh my god, I hate the temperature is hot. And it's bloody May. So gonna die. or invest in something to call the room. Inventory UI, let's go. So I kind of want to be watching for the inventory updated. Right. So I'm gonna create a new signal probably. Public partial class inventory. Public static event sharing an action with an integer. Wow. Inventory slot updated. That seems good. And create item. Here. Inventory slot updated. We invoke that. At the index. Oh, it is too bad Liz left because it is literally the only thing in C# which is actually shorter and better to type. I mean, not really the invoke, but the signal connection. That is the only thing. Shortest. I think. Anyway. Inventory UI, you're gonna watch on that. You can be private. Void on inventory slot updated with an index. I actually don't have to keep track of the dictionary. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Are you still using JDScript for some projects? No. No. For some reasons I can't anymore. My brain is refusing. Like, the day before yesterday, like the pre-yesterday, you may know, like, the video from Braki. He made the 3D game video thing, and he shared a proto controller script, which is really good for the player control. And I basically translated it to C#. That was a nightmare, by the way. Took me like 2 hours or something. And I didn't even do it fully, right? Like, I didn't implement the free fly, but that shouldn't be the hardest thing. Anyway. And I'm not a betrayer, by the way. Show what you made. Okay. So I just gotta make sure my code doesn't explode. Because, you know, C# is a little bit... yeah, don't mess with C#, they don't like it. So, regarding the in-game thing, right? So here it is a prototype of a road, which I need, by the way, to make it larger, because we can have 1 car, but technically we need 2. And a building. So here it is my first attempt to model a building without spending 10 hours on it, which just doesn't look like a block, and there we go. And you can go inside of it. And here you have a room where a few things you can interact with. Mostly, well, things for the prototype. So I still have to make the ground, because right here it's still the sidewalk concrete. And we have this door. And as for the character, the controls, it's just, yeah, translating Braki's controller to C#. And I'm working on an inventory right now, basically. So there we go. And yeah, I've been doing that on Blender, and honestly, it's been a blast. I really love it. Really, really love it. So something I like is that you can, you know, make this entire scene and then import things individually. That's interesting. What this game will be about. So it's going to be a very small prototype to kind of try to bundle up a bunch of features. The goal I have is to have maybe two working buildings. So you have this, which is the player haven, or let's say the player house, and another one which is going to be the shop. So you will be able to go from one to the other. In the shop there's going to be basically someone selling stuff, right? That's a shop. And in the house you will be able to interact with items you have, to both store items in shelves and eventually interact with an item to refine something so that you can craft. And if I'm super motivated, a little mini game that allows you to, you know, you play the little mini game to process the item, basically. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope it's not gonna take too long. I can see that being done in a week. And it is really a starting prototype to see, to create a groundwork to then reiterate and eventually create a larger prototype. So we're gonna check the inventory.get item index. Or maybe we can share the index being in there now. No. Let's go with inventory get item index. So if there is an item in there, here we show item, else we hide item. So right now, more specifically, I'm just trying to create the inventory, and instead of doing it how I usually do that, create a full functional singleton which has the functionality yada yada yada, and then connect the UI. I'm kind of doing both at the same time so I can see the visual progression, because somehow at the moment if I don't have visual things I feel like I'm doing nothing, which is kind of a brain bug. Okay, so let's connect this signal. Inventory slot updated plus equal on inventory slot updated. Oh, I love this syntax so much. Actually, I could have the exit tree at the top. Not a problem. Oh yeah, you said you were working on the exam. Yeah. But yeah, love for the bat, or love to the bat. She's so cute. And in animation, I mean, I don't think I would go for this kind of animation on the long run with twins and stuff, because it's CPU animation. It's probably not what you want to go for efficiency. Regarding the content of the game, it's gonna be fine, right? You're not like flooded in billions of sprites being animated at once, so it's gonna be very fine. No, not worried about this. It's actually good to know how to do it with twins, but yeah. Like, finding all the twin options That must be a lot of work. Public override vote exit 3. Yes, just disconnecting. Wow, C# is so smart. Oh no, did I save? Quick! And I broke everything. Oh my god, did I just make the entire world crash? No! So... let's make a GD print. So I should have one. Oh, maybe it's because we create the item before, which is really stupid. Very stupid me. Creating and updating an item index 0 and oh, look at this cute little face. Yep. Trying to think what I'm going to do next so that I'm not like super floated.
The Colville Indians of upstate Washington call him Sasquatch. The Hoopahs of Northern California call him Omar.
I could create the resource.
But right now, let's just call him Bigfoot.
Yeah. But somehow I want to create, I mean, I've done a little bit of scripting for a while now, so eventually I could be creating a shelf. Maybe I could do that. Let's actually do a little bit of 3D modeling. Wait, can we free fly? Oh, what's going on? Toggle camera view. Actually, I'm just gonna ask Google. Blender camera refly. Pad 0. Does nothing. View navigation, fly and wall. View navigation, fly navigation. That's it. That was bad. View navigation, fly. And how do I move? Oh, wait. What is this? Well, first of all, it's QWERTY. And why it is... Stop! Ah! That's probably walk I want. You... Navigation, walk. Yes, that's it. So I want to walk, except that it is in QWERTY, which is absolutely atrocious for me. But eventually I can. Alright. Yeah. No, it's actually very bad to do that this way. I will model the thing outside. Actually lost the chat. Let me bring the chat back. No, it's fine. Alright. Where am I? Oh my god. The game is called The Door. The game is called Bloody Camera right now. But yeah, it's called The Door so far. Actually, I'm making a shelf. So... I don't know how I'm going to do that, honestly. Okay, I may have it... Ugh. Why is it so damn slow? Anyway. Oh, it's because I'm like super zoomed in? But yes, but if I go there... Oh, I have to walk in. Wait. View... Navigation, walk. Let's go! And then when you go through the door, there's another door. Well, that's the thing. Technically, my door is reusable. Oh, I gotta try that. Okay. A little bit of... Whoa! What? Can I reset the view? Because right now I'm... No, we're good. Good. Actually curious. I should be able to have different doors. So scene 3D door. Look at that! Wow! Wow! So now the game is named The Doors with an S. With an S. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to do. So here, I'm gonna go with a very, very, very simple thing. Like, okay, so I'm gonna create a new scene. Which is shelf. So let's add a new cube. Come here, little cube. Wow, I'm so disabled. I would like to be able to do this. Good. So, face snapping to bring it there. Now we can scale it. Like, what's the weights of this? Nope. Can I change this? Oh, like, oh, no, it's not gonna work. Well, actually, I guess I don't care. Can you?
Item upgrade.
Nope. Ah, why is it so complicated? That seems okay. Now we snap it to the ground. Is it ground snapped? Oh no. Can you snap to the ground? Oh, is it the origin snapping to the ground? No, what? Okay, I'm confused. Anyway. So that's gonna be a pull. Now we apply transform because I... What? No. We apply what? We apply rotation scale. Right? I'm gonna duplicate it. And I'm gonna make this. Oh god. Oh. Yeah. Right, look at this blank. Beautiful blank. Now let's go in edit mode. Like this. Actually, wow, I'm amazed by what I can do. I love that. Actually, around this size. Oh, I duplicate it. So that's the top plank, and this one going to bottom plank. Ow. Bottom plank, so you go down and like go. Oh, I would love to have them aligned. Well, they are. Probably are. Except it's slightly too much. Like this is the... No? Okay. So pull. I can move this guy. Like here. Or can I bevel the head? No. Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. But what if I pick the faces? This. Absolutely not. How can I make this top face rounded? Oh, I'm picking the wrong thing. No. What's going on, dude? Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, can I? Oh, that's probably subdivision here. But... Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna overthink it, like it's a bloody shelf. And I take this and I move it There we go. Hey, should I work at IKEA designing or something? Like, right? Right? Oh, I need to mirror it. How do I do that?
I say this as a child of the Empire. I am of the Empire,
Okay, I want to invert it.
but I am no friend to the Empire.
Maybe I can mirror D? No. Maybe I need to mirror on 2 axes. Oh, Z local? No. Mirror. Interactive mirror. No. How does that work?
You bring us home.
Oh, there we go. That was X.
You bring us home.
Maybe not just X. Yes, it is actually. Why? It looks like one is way much more. Well, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna mirror that.
You bring us home.
Probably on Y.
No friend to the Empire. Well, certainly today become.
Hey, isn't this the most beautiful shelf ever? I love it. So what do I do now? Like I fusion them? Like, can I do that? Should I do that? Let me stretch and think. Shelf. Construct. Oh, actually, I'm gonna. New collection. Construct. Here we have shelf. And shelf mesh. I don't. So I take all this, right click, convert to mesh. Is this? No. Oh, maybe I have to vision the items. Like group. Join. No! I better duplicate that. Can I copy paste? Copy. So this goes in. Shelf. Shelf next. And we join. What is the mesh of this? Or maybe I can actually separate them. Right, like if I do right click. No, maybe I can't. Well, there we go. Now I think I just need to texture this. Here's the shell. Material. We're gonna bring the door wood.
Show me something at the height of your power.
Oh my god, how do you find all those spaces?
Are you busy right now?
I think I'm gonna work differently. I'm gonna apply the material to everything. Yeah, there we go. And then I'm gonna apply the metal here. Actually gonna create one. Like shelf metal. It's like grayish but slightly blue. Pretty rough. Slightly metallic. I don't know, 0 point. And here we can shoot this. Oh no. Oh no. And choose those pillars. Maybe I do need to have it rough a little bit. I don't know how materials work. Isn't it beautiful?
From moment to moment, you make choices. Each choice guides the next path over this timeline. But when you make that choice, so many potential timelines are left to decay.
I wish I had separated the... Oh no! It is passing through. Terrible. Okay. Solution. Rotate the shelf. There we go. So it's near the wall so we don't see. And also there's a little bit of texture which is not colored. Am I hungry? Oh, actually, maybe I could like fix that very slightly by bringing this out a little bit. Oh, I think it happened when I moved the metal down. Yeah, I think we're good. Apply rotation, scale. I'm not sure if I should apply the location. Anyway, export, shell. I think I'm hungry. Having to eat every day is such an annoyance. Anyone wants to come to my home and cook me dinner every day? I'm free. Alright, let's go to Godot. So we have a new model. Oh, nice. Border shelf. Oh, I think I should reset the position. I'm gonna try resetting the position. Select the shelf, Control A, all transform. Why is it so weird? I don't know, I don't feel confident.
I'm not a good person, but
Why is it so far? I'm slightly confused right now.
I'm not a good person, but
Well, honestly,
I've heard things about you.
I'm thinking. Oh, maybe it's in the export settings. Like bring the location here. Okay, cool. Export settings. Transform. Y up. Maybe if I Blender export selection and center to origin. Blender export centered origin. Whenever I export my mesh, its pivot is set to center. Oh, I don't know. Apply modifiers. Yep. Uh-huh. Is it because it's positioned here? But what if I don't bring it? Apply or transform.
she's one of my own.
Export it again.
She is me.
There we go. And bring it back. No. I'm confused. Obviously I could move it. But there's this big thing.
They look happy.
Or is it because the mesh has something?
Believe me,
That would be weird.
here and attending school was like nothing else.
Okay, the origin's here.
I felt very
Can I move it back to the origin? How do I center it? Is origin to geometry. Then I export it.
It was a wonderful place to go to school. With good teachers. And just right people. It was exciting where everyone around you was so...
Okay, next best thing.
And
I apply transforms. Right. I set the origin
was not going to be as
there.
my father.
I export it.
Finally.
Then I bring it back. And here it's centered. Except it's not really. It's gonna be snapping to the ground anyway. Is that a function? Snap object. Snap object. Snap.
I will never forget what we were.
Damn.
Even now,
Or maybe I can create a floor
years later.
and snap it to the floor. I guess that works. Anyway, shelf. Oh, I forgot. Well, I'm gonna add a very simple collider, I think. I don't need
All these years later,
a big one. So,
I still
yes, editable.
care. About you.
Static body.
That I still care.
Vision shape. A box.
The girl I know.
Wow. Oh, I actually have to be very precise.
I can't shake it. I still care.
There we go.
About you. I can't shake it. I still care.
Seems correct. Oh no, is this texture wrong? Let's hope it's on the good side.
He has blinded you.
Okay, here's the shelf.
You and Wolf. And I'm more not sure
The
of it.
world.
And their souls. I understand. It's just
Here, heaven,
Will one day pass, like they all do.
shelf, shelf.
you always were ambitious.
Oh, look at that. And I think if I turn it, I will see. Yeah, a wood texture nipple. Oh, that's okay. There you go. Now I think I can just shelf. And add an area,
I can't shake it. I still care.
which is an interactable area. Duplicate this guy. Unique.
You want to tell me your name?
Oh, not the rotation, actually the scale.
It doesn't matter, does it?
You will be dead in a few days, but I wouldn't say that it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I do have something to offer.
Yeah. Do I dare make the interaction right now? Yeah.
You've done a lot.
Interactable. D.
I know that you've killed many.
What about the one?
I'm very
Okay, so the thing is,
affect you. You knew some of those you robbed.
the way my interactable raycast works, it is set to hit both area and bodies
Is you.
for a very simple thing. The door, basically, I can maybe show you, I don't know. Like, oh no, the script is gonna break. But yeah, the thing is that initially I just had an area around the door to catch a raycast and be interacted with. The problem was the raycast was ignoring collisions, so you could basically close the door by interacting with it from behind the wall. So to prevent that, I allowed the raycast to interact with both. So here it is basically blocked by the wall, and here it hits the area. And I make it 1% bigger so that the interactive area is bigger than the collider, so that the raycast hits the interaction area and blocks here instead of hitting the collider and not reaching the interactive area. That's basically it. And let's actually see the shelf. Ooh, kinda small. Kinda small. Ah. Very clever. Well, thank you.
I don't know how my brothers and sisters.
You're just gonna make sure that the... I mean, maybe you don't even have to make it unique, right? Like, I made the collision shape unique. You probably don't have to do it.
So thoroughly.
Because the scale isn't in the collision shape itself.
Good men don't conquer.
Yeah, so here, private actually, private void on interacted with.
So much potential and so little foresight.
It's folly thinking I could change
And I
something.
kinda need to make a shelf UI.
What do you want? Why did you come here?
Maybe if I could talk plainly with you and see 1 inch of change, I wouldn't believe we're all damned.
Right, we have the shelf UI. And go to first person, public void, interact with, yeah, or like go to shelf. And eventually in the future I will need an argument. Yeah.
You've made what I have to do. Very plain.
2 and visible.
I don't know if you want it or not, but I'll be staying around.
Right shelf, show us your magic.
I consider you a sister still, even if you don't share the sentiment.
Oh, you don't. Yeah, it's because I didn't connect the signal since I'm too hasty. And it does not. I wonder why the script doesn't work. That's curious. Actually, I could probably create a static function which doesn't use the instance. That could be cool. So that I don't have to type instance every time. Yeah, that's great. And not go to first person, but go to Trafio. Right. Alright, ready? And we connect. Connect one. Get node. Erectable Ria 3D. Correct. This is very correct. Oh, what time is it? Oh no, it's late. Shoot. I wanted to go. Ah, whatever. Well, it's late. Need to read. Exit 3. Disconnection.
Do you fuck with that at all?
Shelf interaction menu. Yeah. And here we have our inventory. So, yeah. I don't know if I will be back after this. Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna promise anything. Yeah, I will be out because I really need. And if I am in the mood, I will basically throw a new live after that, which I'm gonna ping on the Discord if I do. Yeah. So wait a second. Actually, go there. I'm gonna disappear from your screen. Leave you with the very beautiful building. Actually, no, I wanna leave you with the shelf. Shelf is just bad. And I will say thank you guys for being here. That was a good run. I'm gonna go eat because I'm literally dying. You know that moment like when you've been working for hours and you suddenly wake up and you're hungry, everything at the same time. Anyway, so you guys take care. I will see you later, and if we're lucky, maybe tonight.